Hello, everyone, and welcome back or welcome to In Case You Feel It Too podcast. I'm your host, Triana, and I hope wherever you are right now, whether you're driving, cleaning, laying in bed doom scrolling, or avoiding putting away the laundry you've been procrastinating for days, I'm just so happy that you're here. And you guys, I am so excited to announce that I have officially launched the In Case You Feel It Too YouTube channel, and today is actually our very first video episode. So if you are more of a visual listener, please feel free to take a pause and join us over there. If not, and you're tuning in as usual, again, thank you so much for being here. So today's episode is a little different because I just wanted to have an open conversation and talk about things that I'm personally tired of doing. And that thing as of right now is romanticizing. And when I say romanticizing, I mean things we convince ourselves are healthy, normal, productive, or even beautiful in some sense. When in reality, these things are just draining us emotionally, mentally, and sometimes physically too. But before we dive into all of that, I want you to grab a drink, get comfortable, and let's get into today's episode. Okay, bestie, so I honestly think that somewhere along the way, we've all started confusing struggle with depth. Like now people feel pressure to turn everything into some sort of aesthetic version of life instead of just admitting that sometimes things are messy as hell, overwhelming, and not actually enjoyable. And for me personally, social media definitely adds that pressure. And let's be honest, we all have this bad habit of allowing it to do that. And, online everything can look meaningful and put together from the outside. Stress looks productive, burnout looks ambitious, emotional unavailability looks somehow mysterious. Even healing somehow gets turned into this perfect, curated journey. Meanwhile, in real life, in real time, most of us are just trying to make it through the week without forgetting to wash our hair, brush our teeth, drink water, take care of responsibilities, or, emotionally spiraling over something so small, right? So today, I'm just going to sort of expose myself a little and talk about things I've realized I genuinely do not want to romanticize anymore. And that first thing is going to be romanticizing being the strong person. I am so exhausted and tired of romanticizing being the person who never needs help. When in reality, I obviously do. The person that's like, I've got it, I'm fine, don't worry about me. Meanwhile, they're one minor inconvenience away from just, just just being done with it, driving their car into a lake, okay? And I think for a long time, I kind of convinced myself that being independent meant never struggling out loud. Like somehow asking for help meant I was weak or dramatic or just simply asking for too much. But honestly, I think constantly forcing yourself to hold everything together is just freaking exhausting. It's exhausting as hell. And sometimes the strongest thing you can do is literally just admit, hey, I am not okay right now. But why do we not feel comfortable doing that? Have you guys ever noticed how uncomfortable people get when you answer, like, how are you honestly? Like, they wanted good, not your character development. Now, this next one, this is the one. Romanticizing perfectly curated lives online. I could talk about this one all day long, but that would honestly take an entire episode on its own. But seriously, I think we all know social media isn't real, but somehow we still compare ourselves to it anyway. And I mentioned this in another podcast, how we kind of measure our lives based on other people's Instagram reels. And that's so real. It is so freaking real. Like logically, I know someone did not wake up looking effortlessly beautiful in a sunlit apartment while journaling and making lemon water at 6 a.m. Girl, be for real. There's no way. I'm sorry. Like, you're telling me that you're hitting record on your phone and you just woke up and you have perfect heatless curls in your hair. Your eyebrows look like you just got done getting them microbladed. And you're saying, like, oh, just woke up. Girl, no. And meanwhile, I'm fighting for my life trying to remember if I brushed my teeth last night. And I think we've started comparing our real lives to people's highlight reels again, so much that normal life now feels like failure. No one's posting, crying in the Target parking lot, reheating the same coffee 3 times, doom scrolling instead of folding laundry, having absolutely no idea what the hell is going on. But that is real life too. And honestly, I'm tired of feeling behind because someone online made chaos look prettier than mine. Now, the specific things I want to stop truly romanticizing are romanticizing trauma. This one's a little deeper, but I think sometimes we hold on to pain because it's somehow become part of our identity, right? Like at some point you stop saying, something's happened to me, and you start feeling like, this is just who I am. And I realized there were parts of me I almost didn't want to let go of because I had gotten so used to carrying them. And I'm like, okay, who am I without this trauma? And who am I if I stopped expecting the worst all the time? Who am I if I stop living in survival mode? Survival mode. Sorry, I don't know. My brain is just, it's going too fast. But again, like, who am I if I stop living in survival mode? And I don't think healing means pretending bad things never happened. I think it means not letting them control every single version of you moving forward. Romanticizing is just something we do and we don't even think about it. So the next one is going to be romanticizing being busy all the time. Why did we all collectively decide exhaustion equals success? Like, why do I feel guilty relaxing? It's like, okay, if I didn't do XYZ today, then, that's it. And I'm literally, trying to sit down for 10 minutes and suddenly my brain becomes, you should reorganize your closet. You should reply to those texts. You should deep clean your fridge. You should scrub the baseboards, which I'm not doing that. But, again, like, you should become a completely different person by tomorrow morning. What the hell? Like, why do our brains do these things to us? Why do we allow our brains to do these things to us? And I noticed I was constantly obsessing over everything being clean and organized because it made me feel like I had some sense of control. Like if my house was spotless, maybe life would magically feel together too. Spoiler alert, it does not work like that, babe. It does not work like that. And there's obviously nothing wrong with liking a clean space, right? But I realize there's a difference between enjoying cleanliness and mentally collapsing because there's one cup in the sink. And sometimes I was taking better care of my environment than I was taking care of myself. And baby girl, that's the problem. But okay, wait. I want you guys to actually take a moment and think about this for a second. What is something that you romanticize that secretly drains you? Again, what is something that you romanticize that secretly drains you? Maybe it's always being available for everyone. Maybe it's pretending you don't care. Maybe it's toxic relationships or toxic situationships. Maybe it's productivity. Maybe it's being quote unquote low maintenance. I think a lot of us are performing versions of ourselves we don't even enjoy anymore. Let that sink in. And that realization is both terrifying as hell, but it's also kind of freeing. All right, you guys, I don't know if my brain is just like malfunctioning or if I have ADHD, I don't know. But I kind of want to talk about some unpopular opinions. I do not think healing is always pretty. I don't think closure is guaranteed. I don't think everyone who hurt you deserves continued access to you. And I definitely don't think your worth is measured by how productive you were today. Anyways, I don't think making your bed is going to heal your inner child, okay? Helpful? Sure. Life changing? Okay, let's relax, okay? I don't know. I just feel like, again, there goes my brain. A lot of these things, I just know that there's no way I'm the only one feeling that. Like, am I crazy? Am I delulu? Like, what's going on? But let's get back on track, okay? So, aside from all of that, the things I'm trying to romanticize instead is definitely, instead of romanticizing burnout and perfectionism in fake online lives, I want to romanticize peace. Like not feeling the need to constantly explain myself or prove something all the freaking time. I want to prioritize quiet mornings, making my coffee, sitting in silence for a second, and not immediately reaching for my phone the second I wake up. Genuine friendships, the kind where you can sit and sweat, vent about life, laugh until you cry, and not feel like you have to perform or pretend to be something you're not in that moment. You know, I want to prioritize resting without guilt, not turning relaxation into another thing to earn, you know, just anything. And another is emotional honesty, saying, actually, bestie, I'm struggling right now. Instead of pretending everything's fine because it's easier. Becoming a healthier version of yourself slowly, not overnight transformations, not becoming a whole new person by Monday, just small changes that actually last. Another is taking care of myself in realistic ways, like drinking water, washing my face in the morning, eating an actual meal instead of having iced coffee and my Puff Bar, and calling that productive enough sometimes. I want to prioritize letting life be messy sometimes because honestly, there are days where the laundry sits for a little too long and your mental health isn't perfectly organized either. I would also say being present, not recording every meaningful moment for proof that it happened. Especially as a mom, I do that so often, but it's like I want to look back on those things, but also I would rather live in the moment. I want to prioritize late night drives, laughing at stupid things, listening to music in the car, random conversations that somehow become core memories. Because honestly, some of the best parts of life usually happen when no one's trying to make them look impressive. Honestly, I don't know. Something about saying that out loud really just resonated with me. So I'm sorry for the long pause, guys. I think at the end of the day, a lot of us are just trying to figure life out while carrying pressure. We were never really taught how to handle all of this. And maybe part of growing is realizing that not everything unhealthy has to become some part of our personality just because we've lived it for so freaking long. So, if this episode resonated with you, I'm genuinely excited and would love to hear what's something you're tired of romanticizing lately. And if you feel comfortable, leave your thoughts in the comments. I truly want this to feel like a space where we can relate to one another, support one another, and realize we're not alone as we sometimes feel. Again, I hope wherever you are right now that you leave this episode remembering that your life does not have to look perfect to still be meaningful. I want you to be gentle with yourself this week. Prioritize taking care of you too. Thank you guys so much for spending part of your day with me. Seriously, it means more than you would ever know. And most importantly, thank you for being you. And as always, in case you feel it too, this space is for you.